If you currently going through a breakup or your partner introduced a break to y'all's relationship, let's talk. First things first, I want you to acknowledge, validate, and process your feelings. Also, I want you to find some outlets for expressing how you feel. That includes getting a therapist, buying a journal, having a group of people you know you can go to. Something I used to do was just record a bunch of videos on my phone. Because I can't get on my phone there, so I can keep talking and talking and talking until I feel better. Now, it's finna get a little more intense. These are just my recommendations. You don't have to do it. Go no contact. Because the waters can get really, really muddy if y'all are just stringing each other along. If there are not clear boundaries set, whatever you want those boundaries to be, it can get really messy really fast. This is kind of why I said no contact, because you don't want to have a person that has 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You don't want to ease into a situation to where it's a relationship but just without the title. See, you have people that want to go on breaks or want to break up, but they still want the benefit of having you around. They just want to be able to do what they want while still having the pleasure of having you treat them like a partner. And something I want y'all to keep in mind about breaks, for me personally, I view them as breakups. But don't have this expectation that y'all are going to get back together, because that's not guaranteed. As means of protecting yourself, do not have these high hopes that a relationship is going to happen again. I feel like wanting a break, honestly, is the start of a breakup. Be very careful when it comes to void filling and rebounding. I don't judge nobody for what they do, but if you do that, be very, very careful. It's a lot of games being played in this dating world, and I don't condone that, but I do think you got to play your cards
right. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, but he didn't choose you. He didn't choose you. He didn't choose to be in your life in the way that he promised, in the way that he presented, or the way that you hoped. He didn't choose you, and I know it hurts like hell. And I know you wish that he had made a different choice, but I need you to hear me say that he did not choose you. And it is okay. It's hurtful right now. But I promise you, in a little bit, once you go through the healing process, you're going to thank him for not wasting any more of your time and not pretending that he wanted to be in a relationship with you in the way that you wanted him to and in the way that you needed him to show up. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. You're gonna get past this.
Let me show you 5 steps on how to get over that loser bum ex-boyfriend of yours that God had to put on a waiting list to even allow to be birthed into this world. And before anybody says I am not qualified to give advice on this, let me show you just how down bad I was.
You think that I'm just gonna tolerate things forever and ever and ever and Trinity. And I'm very, very upset with you.
Anyways, I have been completely single for the past 6 months, and I was in a 2.5-year relationship. So I understand how hard it is to get over someone you genuinely loved and spend so much time and growth with. Anyways, step number 1, you are going to completely allow yourself to feel every single type of pain that you're feeling. A lot of people are going to try to come here and tell you, you need to boss up, you need to go out immediately, you need to hit up your girls, go out, go clubbing, ignore the sadness, ignore your feelings. No, you need to rot. You need to feel everything. You need to go through every message. You need to look at pictures. You got to feel the sadness and get it out of your system immediately. Rule number 2, I believe blocking is actually going to make it harder for you to move on, because you're going to go out of your way to check up on them. So it's actually best to leave each other alone. Have each other's social still, so even if you're feeling down bad, you can go look and you're not gonna feel like shit. Because it's okay, guys, to check up on people that you used to care and love for, but blocking them, you're just gonna end up sneaking around it and it's gonna be weird. So just do not block them, just leave it, and eventually you're gonna stop caring and you're not gonna eventually check up on them. This is super controversial, but I didn't say my advice was morally correct. It just works. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to find a distraction. This does not mean you need to sleep with these guys. Just find a boy that's going to take you out to text, because that's the thing that makes us go back to our exes, is that feeling of loneliness and we want somebody to talk to. So find one guy to be texting and to kind of hyperfixate on, because it will help, trust me. You're not actually obsessed with them, you're just kind of clinging on to them, and eventually you're gonna let go and you're gonna be okay. This is kind of fucked. Number 4, you're gonna go do everything that person said that you couldn't do or you would never be able to do. Just giving yourself that freedom that you have never experienced before and just completely loving yourself in it. It really does help you see just like how shitty they were and how you actually are capable of a lot of things and you love doing these things. So start doing that. For me, I started listening to music that I used to listen to before being in the relationship, but he always used to say my music taste was horrible and just the worst. So I completely stopped listening to my favorite artists like Tame Impala and them. But immediately when I got out of that relationship, I started listening to all that music and that's all I listened to. And it was a very healing process. I know it's really dumb sounding, but it really actually helped me realize that there was a piece of me that I let go in order to be in a relationship. So find that piece of you that you had to let go and get it back. It is so, so healing. Number 5, you're going to write a list of everything that they did wrong and then everything that they did right. And you're going to figure out all the right things. And then you're going to start opening yourself up to meeting new men. Because a lot of people will try to be like, oh my God, like do not like talk to men, like go like stop being around men for the next year and a half. No, like it's okay to open yourself up to other people. Just make sure you're opening yourself up to the right people. So I started taking guys more seriously instead of just viewing them as something to distract myself around like October, November time, because that was like a good 4 months after our breakup. So yeah, just start doing that. Start going on serious dates. Start talking to guys. Obviously don't prioritize them, like don't make them like your whole world, but literally just open yourself up, guys. Like I am so happy right now, and just being able to do this and opening myself up to new opportunities has made me realize that my worth is so much more than I had realized before, and I'm being treated a lot better and I'm happy. And doing this will make you never want to go back. All of these things are gonna make you just hate the concept of being with your ex. So these aren't like oh, you need to go get hot, or you need to go, like you need to do this and this. It's just about realizing all the discomfort that you were in your last relationship and just being okay with leaving that in your past and finding new happiness. Like this is what this type of advice is. And I really hope that this helps somebody out there. It really helped me, guys, and it just healed me. Like I want to give advice that makes people never want to go back to their ex again.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. This healing shit get ugly. Like this shit get ugly, and it take a special type of person to really take the time to learn who they are to go through with this shit. I know we all done been through some stuff in life, and we all got problems and traumas, and that's why there's so many fucked up people in the world, because people ain't really taking the time to get this shit up out of them, bro. It like, this shit get ugly, y'all. Some days be better than other, and it ain't even called depressing. It's like, you know how when you got a wound, and the wound, when you first get it, it be a little cut. Then when it's healing, before it get, like a burn, before it get healed, it look real bad and it get real ugly. That's because you heading in the right direction. That means it's healing. And that's something I ain't scared to show. I ain't trying to be perfect, because I know my story and why God got me where he got me at. And my whole life, this shit has been for me to get out here and reach some people and speak on this shit. Like, y'all gotta take this time to heal and stop trying to hide this shit and sweep this shit up under the rug, man. Y'all gotta get this shit out. This shit get hard. This shit get real. This shit get ugly. And you don't know how long this shit take. But you gotta see this shit through, man. Because I'm telling you, I just know when I get there, that shit gonna be worth it, man. This ain't even about no man. This ain't about no other person. This shit really for me. Like, this for myself, my kids, to be the best version I can be of myself. When I do this, it's about God. I don't see nobody else. I ain't doing this shit for nothing else other than for me. The reward that I know gonna come.
What I noticed about breakups, 9 times out of 10 after a breakup, everybody end up going back to what they used to be, who they actually are. Most times in a relationship, y'all adapt to each other's lifestyle. You get some of his karma, he gets some of yours. You get some of his attributes, he gets some of yours. You get some of his lingo, he gets some of yours. But when that one becomes 2 again and the dust settles, everybody end up going back to who they really are. And baby, this is where it get good. Now in some cases, somebody gonna try to go put theyself in somebody else. Hold on, hear me out. I don't mean it like that. one of the parties is going to go try to hide behind somebody else again. It's natural. They're not used to being alone. They're used to something overshadowing their issues. If you were the person to overshadow their bad and cover it all up, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go find somebody else to hide behind, okay? And not only that, they will end up throwing dirt on your name. It's for the plot. So they're going to tell the next person you were toxic, you were no good for them, you didn't support them, you didn't really love them. It helps the plot. That way, they already have set a foundation for this new person. I need you to feel bad for me. And 9 times out of 10, the other person was giving them more affection. So for starters, they already starving affection. That's automatic affection right there. Number 2, let's just say overall y'all was bad for each other. 9 times out of 10, it's going to feel like a withdrawal. Y'all both going to suffer a lot. Behind closed doors, y'all are lacking something. And that's the toxic foundation that y'all thrived off of. And sometimes the love. Everything is not a lie. Even in bad, everything is not a lie. So at this point, y'all both drowning and starving and suffering. Now, how some people get through that is they end up going back because everybody can't go hungry, okay? So y'all do that pattern for a while. That's another phase. Until somebody dies off and find food somewhere else. I'm just saying. Number 3, you all can separate and grow. Now, this is the least likely, and let me tell you why. It's least likely for 2 people to come to the same conclusion and different paths in their life. One of you can possibly be growing, and someone else could feel like they had nothing to grow from. You were the issue. So that's the least likely path, that both people grow. And then it comes to a mutual understanding that we both had some issues, some things to grow from, and now we back. We starting over. We're going to try again. So these are the different phases you can go through. And number 4, time is not y'all's solution, meaning y'all gonna stick it out no matter what. You two are the type of couple that don't break up. Ain't no such thing as a break. Y'all chose love over breaks. So no matter what it comes down to, y'all gonna love y'allself through every break, through every crack, through every situation. Y'all gonna love y'allself to victory. Y'all gonna choose forgiveness. Y'all gonna acknowledge that there are issues that we need to get through, but we gonna hold each other hand and get through it together no matter what. And y'all are what we would like to call couples goals. Y'all stick it out. Y'all do the big one. And people looking at y'all from the outside like, man, they been together for years. No, they just got through it. They chose love over breakups.
Y'all, somebody said this to me today, and I was like, okay, checked me. To heal a wound, you have to stop touching it. And for the girls that get it, the girls that get it understand. And that's for everybody. In order for you to heal a wound, you have to stop touching it. Not put a fucking Band-Aid over it and keep checking to see, is it healed yet? Do I need to put more ointment on it? You just got to stop touching it. You got to stop touching it. Because guess what? A scab is never going to grow over it. And you're never going to have that new layer of skin if you keep touching it. I don't have to say what's in between because y'all understand what I'm trying to say here. In order for you to heal a wound, you got to start touching it. I don't have to say what's in between because y'all understand what I'm trying to say here. In order for you to heal a wound, you got to start touching it.
Going through a breakup right now and you feel like you have no idea how to get through it, this video is for you. I'm Audrey and I'm a certified holistic wellness coach, and I left my 8-year relationship last year and it broke me. But it also rebuilt me, and I'm going to share with you the 5 things that I did that really helped me navigate that chapter of my life and helped me become a greater being along the way. So the first thing that I recommend is, if you feel like this person that you're going through a breakup with is your person and you feel like you're meant to be, prove it by letting go. Prove it by fully surrendering to this chapter that you're in and fully surrendering to this experience that you're going through, and allow yourself to let go of control. The universe will never allow you to miss what's meant for you. So if you truly, truly believe in your soul that this is your person, prove it by letting go. Second thing that I recommend is to use this chapter to focus on cultivating a deeper relationship with yourself. You are the most consistent relationship you have in this life, so take care of it. Forget external relationships right now and focus on the internal relationship you have with you. Use this time to gain more clarity on your attachment style and your wounds and your traumas and all of these things that are impacting you and your happiness. And use this time to figure out who you are outside of external relationships. Branching off that, the third thing I recommend is, if you're truly trying to learn to be okay with being with yourself, you've got to release the need for external validation. And I think a lot of times when we come out of a relationship, we realize how much we were relying on that other person to fulfill our needs and to validate our needs. And so when it comes to learning to validate our own experiences, my number one tip for doing this is to learn to sit with your own experiences and set hard boundaries for yourself. And so the best way to do this, in my opinion, is when you're going through emotional turbulence, sit with it. Sit with the experience for an hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, or even a day before reaching out to someone else. Because when you can learn to sit with the experience with yourself and move through those thoughts and move through those emotions and move through those feelings all on your own, you are saying to your subconscious mind and to your soul, I can handle this on my own. And the more that you do this, the less you'll rely on other people to validate your experiences because you're doing it for you. The fourth thing that I recommend, that may be a bit of a controversial one, but really helped me on my own journey, is microdosing psilocybin. Psilocybin helps to reduce control of the default mode network over the brain. And the default mode network plays a crucial role in everyday consciousness and our everyday thought patterns, behaviors, actions, you name it. And so when we can reduce control over the default mode network over the brain, it essentially acts as like a mini ego death every single day, where we can start to choose new thought patterns, new behaviors, and new actions. And going through this mini ego death almost every single day actually really allowed me to feel my feelings without resistance and helped me to choose new thought patterns that actually served me rather than hold me back. The last thing that I recommend are breathwork and meditation. These are huge. Your body holds so much trauma. It holds so much energy. It holds so many emotions that need to be released. And when we hold on to all of this trauma, it can warp our perception of the present moment because it's always projecting itself out onto the present moment without us even realizing. So when we can engage in practices like breath work or meditation that help bring our mind and body into the present moment, it helps us to actually release some of these stored patterns and also clear out space for better experiences and better emotions and so on and so forth. And by incorporating more mindfulness techniques into your routine, it's really going to help you to live more in the objective present moment, where you're not living in the memories of the past or the worries or ideas about what the future could have been. And it's going to help you see life through a lens of truth, not trauma or pain or grief or anxiety. These are some of my tips. If you're looking for more support in your journey, I encourage you to book a free discovery call with me to learn more about my coaching practice. But I hope these helped, and let me know if you have any questions.